Very deep indeed, and whenever Manchester United and Liverpool lock horns, the football world sits up and takes notice. Paul Parker plays his first league game for 6 months, one of 9 full internationals fielded by Alex Ferguson today, but the doyen of them all, Brian Robson, is still sidelined with calf trouble, so Darren Ferguson stays in midfield. Defensively, the side is in great shape, but if they are finally to win the championship, everyone here knows they have to find the route to goal on a much more regular basis.
Yeah, no surprises in the lineup either, Martin. As you say, that back four will take some breaking down today, but it's at the other end of the pitch where Alex had his problems, Alex Ferguson. Big onus on Mark Hughes and Brian McClair, and can Kanchelskis and Giggs cause them Liverpool problems down the flanks?
Well, the progress of the junior members of the Souness squad has satisfied the manager so much that on current form, he says, the likes of Jamie Redknapp, John Hutchison and Mike Marsh would keep their places even if all the missing stars were fit. Jan Mulby is back, and he comes in for Mark Walters, who limped out of a training session on Friday. Rob Jones not quite ready yet. Mark Wright not involved, but Michael Thomas is a substitute after playing 70 minutes of a B-team game yesterday.
Yeah, I did wonder how they would play. I wonder whether Ronnie Rosenthal would play up front with Ian Rush, but that's not going to happen. The system that proved so effective against Sheffield Wednesday at home, a 5-man midfield, means that Ronnie Rosenthal will occupy the berth vacated by Mark Walters and his injury. Rush will play alone furrow up front. And here's one to watch for everyone at home today. 2 kids making names for himself in the Premier League this season. Mike Marsh, his defensive capabilities will be severely tested against the shining light in football today, Ryan Giggs.
Well, the 2 Welshmen, good friends but rivals today. And Ian Rush, it's almost a record a week for him these days, it seems, but now he's on the verge of one to really treasure. One more goal, and he's out on his own as Liverpool's all-time leading scorer. Old Trafford tends to provoke memories of the past. High on the list for Keith Hackett, the United-Arsenal match he refereed here almost 2 years ago, when both sides were docked league points for their bad behaviour. Neither club is setting the pace in the Premier League. The absence of the Stretford end takes some of the sense of theatre out of Old Trafford temporarily. But Manchester United against Liverpool is an irresistible ingredient in the recipe of the English game.
And for Manchester United today, Martin, an opportunity to go 3rd in the Premier League table. Great incentive for his side.
Liverpool in green. If support counts for anything, the odds overwhelmingly in United's favour. Liverpool officially restricted to some 700 tickets. Here's Hutchison. Well, Keith Hackett, who was 5 yards away, quite emphatically waved away any hopes that Liverpool
Steve
might
Bruce
have had of a penalty.
wasn't amused with this at all. As Don Hutchison works very well to get in there. Keeps holding the ball, battling for it. Here he touches it, and I think he goes in looking for the penalty. And Keith Hackett absolutely spot on.
Hutchison, who scored in Liverpool's last 3 games. Here's Picnic. Bruce in quickly on Rush.
There's a fabulous atmosphere here, isn't there?
These matches so often provoke extremes of emotion. Extra motivation, even extra motivation for Manchester United after Liverpool beat them in April to present the championship to Leeds. Bruce Grobbelaar had a very successful testimonial occasion last weekend, of which Andy Gray was a part.
A very small part, thankfully, though, Martin.
Rosenthal is offside. He's the player who's actually come back into the side because of the Walters injury. Jan Molby would have played in any case, with Graham Souness expecting Manchester United to play more or less five in midfield. Brian McClare, the floater, who's well up alongside Hughes at the moment, and ahead of him now, Kanchelskis on the ball. Here's McClare. Liverpool slow to close that gap. Ferguson.
Yeah, looking for his first goal of the season, Darren Ferguson there. But getting in there, that's the important thing. It's a good build-up. Players join in well. As Kanchelskis pulls it back, it's Darren Ferguson that arrives, but just uses the wrong foot for me.
That deflected off Redknapp. It's Ferguson again. And you do feel that he needs a goal to get going, to lift his confidence in that type of situation.
Well, already in the first 3 minutes, he's shown that he wants to get forward. I just wonder if that's with Brian Robson returning to fitness. But again, in that occasion for Darren Ferguson, didn't really show a great deal of conviction.
Liverpool survive. Alec Ferguson says his team is 9/10 of the way there in terms of its development. The missing 10th is quite clear for all to see at the sharp end of the side, the attacking end of the side, and really we've seen a little bit of that already.
But a bit unlucky though there. I mean, Darren Ferguson's got in there twice, and I think probably his lack of goals, he wasn't filled with the confidence he probably should have been.
Liverpool in the throes of the reconstruction under Graham Souness, but 3 consecutive wins in 3 different competitions coming into this game, and they're determined to show that there's plenty of life left in England's most successful club. Ferguson. Here's Hutchison, and now McManaman. As he looks up, he can see Rush in the middle. He's certainly not shy of holding the ball, and in doing that, he's been fouled by Ferguson, and it's a free kick to Liverpool.
I think that's going to be the problem today, Liverpool. If they break like that, is getting people from the midfield area up in support of Ian Rush. Was noticeable there that Steve McManaman was trying to wait for people to come, and they just couldn't catch him up quick enough.
Molby takes the free kick. That was an all-Danish idea. Torben Picnic really has been a late developer. He didn't play for Denmark until last November. He went to the European Championships as a reserve, got into the team and has stayed in there, and here he is now representing Liverpool and taking on the third Dane on view, Peter Schmeichel. Whose belief in his own ability on the ball sometimes gives the opposition a chance to take it from him. Offside, but Keith Hackett is the type of referee who likes to keep the game going whenever he can. He has to stop it now.
I think there Gary Pallister has shown that he's not frightened to use the ball. He'll play from the back.
Dennis Irwin playing at left back with Paul Parker on the right-hand side of Manchester United's back 4. The pitch, incidentally, has benefited a great deal from the way the weather's been allowed to get at it because of the open end. Now the Stretford end has been knocked down. It's been a great help to the diligent work of Keith Kent, the groundsman. Picnic for Rosenthal, and now Molby. I don't think Liverpool are absolutely sure what Don Hutchison's best position is yet. He's got the whole range at his disposal, but he's a raiding midfield man with an eye for goal in the present climate. As I say, 1 in each of the last 3 games, 4 in the last 5. Now Manchester United would like to have somebody with those statistics.
It's a big onus on Hutchison and Jamie Redknapp today as well. With Ian Rush playing up there on his own, it's vitally important that at least one of them is getting up in support of him.
Rush is down. The shot from Marsh. And Ian Rush looks for some comfort from the referee, who explained again, I'm sure, that Liverpool had kept the ball and that's why the game went on. Can head it back. Bruce Grobbelaar, of course, has won his place back from David James. It's his 5th match since his return to the side. Grobbelaar's had some strong words to say over the past couple of weeks about commitment, or rather the lack of it, from 1 or 2 of the Liverpool contingent. But certainly one would suspect there'll be no lack of commitment in this match.
Listen, you just put Manchester United and Liverpool together in any fixture and you'll get commitment. If you don't, Martin, you get found out on that little green patch of grass in front of us.
Rosenthal. Here's Redknapp. Rush. It's quick and it's effective until it came to the shot from Jamie Redknapp, but it's an indication of the greater self-belief that Liverpool have been able to manufacture over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I think the confidence that the young kids are showing, and as Graham Souness says, they're in the team, Jamie Redknapp's and Don Hutchison's and Mike Marsh, because they deserve to be in the team and they warrant a place. But that, a little cameo there, a lot of the confidence that he's playing with Jamie Redknapp.
Hutchison. A nerveless piece of play by Grobbelaar as Mark Hughes came in with some menace. Parker. Stopped by Burrows. Rosenthal sending in, it's the wrong way. Mulby. Now McManaman. Paul Ince, who operated as one of Paul Gascoigne's minders, really, in midfield for England on Wednesday and played his part. Kanchelskis gets the run of the ball against Burrows. Picnic's come across. They've got to be careful now with the tackles inside the area, but Kanchelskis rather made the job easier for Liverpool.
I don't think Brian McClare helped Andre Kanchelskis at all there by coming really over and bringing extra defenders over. But David Burrows has got to be careful. He can't afford to dive in at somebody like Andre Kanchelskis if he's not 100% sure he's going to win the ball.
Diving in there was Hutchison on Ince. Ball broke United's way. Well, losing the championship to Leeds was bad enough for Manchester United, but to have it effectively finished off at Anfield really stuck in their throats. So there's a fair measure of revenge on the United agenda.
Yeah, I think only recently we had Steve Bruce on one of the shows, and he was even saying then that it still rankles with him, the fact that it was Liverpool who finally killed off their chances.
I think they quite enjoyed it at Anfield. Ryan Giggs with a defence to confront, marshalled by Steve Nicol. Hughes has hit the lows and the highs recently, sent off in Moscow, taken off at Middlesbrough. Then he grabbed the deciding goal in the Coca-Cola Cup tie against Brighton, followed by that World Cup winner for Wales in Cyprus last Wednesday. Leclerc, Liverpool retreat. Kanchelskis, Burrows though not sitting back, forcing back in fact, Andrei Kanchelskis. Nicely done by Irwin, playing over the top of Marsh. Giggs, Hughes trying to get in first, and it won't roll for McClare, not quite.
Well, you can see early on, if I was Alex Ferguson and Brian Kidd, I'd be screaming to get the ball to Ryan Giggs as often as possible. Just twice he's shown that if they can get it there and get it in the holes, he's got the pace to get away from Mike Marsh. And we see him, he creates the space himself with a great run, and that means that Steve Nichol's drawn out the middle. And I just wonder if he'd have gone over this Mark Hughes, Brian McClare probably tapping it into the net. I just wonder in that situation that if Brian McClare actually gave Mark Hughes a little shout, because if he had done, then it would have been easy for Mark Hughes just to have taken the central defender away from the ball to play and just allow it to run through to Brian McClare.
In this atmosphere, it'd have to be a big shout, I think. And certainly, if it was there, it wasn't heard. Hutchison. 0-1 back for United by Ferguson. Giggs, McClare, bounced off Nicol. Managed to get the ball without provoking a blast on the whistle from Keith Hackett. But look at Manchester United swarming them forward here. And now they do get a free kick.
Well, I tell you, there was probably so many tackles there that Keith Hackett, he probably felt, well, one of them must be illegal. I thought they're a bit fortunate to get this. I actually think it's a good tackle. It comes in, yeah, you see it there, and I don't know if it's for Don Hutchison just coming in a little bit late.
I think that was all it could have been for, but if you doubted the intensity of the game, that incident would have ended the doubts. All the emotion of this particular match encapsulated in United's wish to get the ball. The shot came from Irwin, and Grevillard athletically prevents the corner. Grevillard playing his club football these days, in between commuting back to the African continent, having been able to pick up his career with Zimbabwe. That's legal enough from Nicol.
It's important for Steve Nicol in Liverpool that he's very aware, playing the right-sided centre-back as he is doing, he'll be very conscious of the fact that he really has to go to protect Mike Marsh as often as possible.
Mulby. That was made easy for Rush by the precision from Mulby. Rosenthal, who is a natural runner with the ball. Parker's very quick, but short on matches, and he can't prevent the cross, and Schmeichel, for a second, seemed to have left the space there. The ball actually passed into the side of the net.
I think he's very relieved, Peter Schmeichel here. Looks to me as if he moves out for the cross just there, and there is a yard gap, and he's a happy man to see that slip into the side netting. But the one thing Ronnie Rosenthal will do when he gets the ball, he'll run at people.
Well held up by Hughes, who's so strong and so durable, and misses few matches with injury. Just one thing, Andy, you were saying earlier about Steve Nicol, and Graham Souness not wanting to be drawn on Mark Wright's future, but what he was saying yesterday was how pleased he is with Nicol and Picnic, who of course are a new pairing, relatively new in the centre of defence, but this will be their biggest examination so far. Just to say again, Mark Wright not in the 14 for Liverpool in this match. Redknapp and Rush to Mulby. Well, we'd love to send one flying past Schmeichel. Mulby be showing mobility to get across then as well. He does have this style which seems to suggest you don't need to run to play football, but he was moving quickly then.
I think what you need to do if you're playing Jan Molby, you have to get on the ball, Martin. You can't expect him to go and grafting and get tackles in. You wouldn't expect him to run forward. But what you must do, and the other Liverpool players must do, is get on the ball. Then you see the best of him.
Parker. Bit of hesitation by Grobbelaar, but then he realised that he would get it, and did. Been over-aggressive attitudes in this fixture in the past, but I must say both teams have begun the game with playing football of a pure variety uppermost in their thoughts. Rosenthal trying to contribute to that theme. Well recovered Parker. It's certainly a pitch to encourage the passing game.
He's got a job on Rosenthal if he thinks he's going to run Paul Parker. He really has. One of the quickest players in the Premier League.
And there's always Ince to help Parker out. Parker's missed so many England call-ups over the past year or so. Played in the World Cup semi-final, remember. Goes off Parker for a Liverpool corner. Coming up to 19 minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 0. United haven't beaten Liverpool in the league in any of the last 3 seasons. McManaman and Burrows with their version of the short corner. In for McManaman. Oh, and for a second it looked as though Rush's great moment might be looming. Picnic, McManaman. Manchester United's proud defensive record under threat here. McManaman knocked it too far ahead.
Well, if they need any confidence in can they open up Manchester United, certainly in the last minute of the match, he will have given them that. 2 real golden opportunities, particularly for Ian Rush.
Well, Liverpool's league position is poor. The managerial style of Graham Souness has provoked such suspicion in some quarters, but their form guide has improvement written all over it. 21 goals scored in the last 7 games, 3 straight wins. They've not betrayed the philosophy of the way Liverpool teams play the game. Again got to it. We'll see how quick Picnic is here. The answer is quick enough.
Excellent play. Really was very good covering there.
Flag up for offside and a chance to have a quick word down the touchline with our reporter David Livingston.
Martin, the Liverpool management team and the dugout behind me have really been cranking up the performance of their team after what they thought was a bit of a slow start. Wakey, wakey was the cry early on. Now they're looking for Ronnie Rosenthal to test Paul Parker. A tall order indeed. Martin.
Here is Rosenthal. Molby. Plenty of numbers in midfield suiting Liverpool. Marsh. Now Redknapp. United slow to get a challenge in, really. But it breaks down with Ferguson. The greater worry for Liverpool, really, is the number of goals that they've conceded this season. In a way, their record very much the opposite to Manchester United's, who hardly let any in, haven't scored too many more. Whereas Liverpool have been scoring them, and I'm afraid shipping them in at their own end.
I do think, I get the feeling in this game already, Mark, that if Manchester United allow Liverpool time and space to pass the ball around, then Liverpool might give them more problems than they bargained for today. They look confident in their own ability in this formation. And if they can get the ball to Jan Molby and he can bring people into play, then they certainly could cause this normally solid Manchester United defence quite a few problems.
Well, you're head-to-head at the start. Giggs against Marsh. Looming there. Mike Marsh, who's turning out to be a very versatile performer for Liverpool. Started as a striker in the junior ranks. As Marsh there playing onside. So the ball from Bruce was too long. Owen's header. Redknapp got in quickly. This is McManaman. Molby. And again. Hutchison. Oh, they're backing off him. And it came off Bruce, and it's ended up in the back of the net. And Liverpool have taken the lead. And Hutchison has played a major role for Liverpool again.
Well, they've allowed them to work the position, didn't they? I said if they allow Liverpool to pass the ball around and create openings, they could pay for it. I think they don't go and close the ball down the way they should. Look, Steve Bruce goes late, gets the deflection, and that's the crucial moment in that.
Don Hutchison, who was signed almost 2 years ago, played in the same Gateshead boys club that was previously a vehicle for Paul Gascoigne. And his sense of goal grabbing from midfield has brought him a goal, albeit with the help of a big deflection, for the 4th successive game. Rosenthal has just gone out.
Well, now it's Manchester United have just got to steady themselves, just settle down, get back to playing the game, with Liverpool's tails well and truly up.
It was a slow start by Graham Souness's side, but the goal coming after a period where their confidence was starting to shine through, and Manchester United were allowing them far more freedom in midfield than one would have expected, and that was a major factor in the nature of the goal that United have now conceded. Bit of argy-bargy there between Giggs, who's been penalised, and Marsh.
Not too impressed with the decision, was he, Ryan Giggs? Now we've got a game on, Martin.
Did you ever doubt it?
No, but when Liverpool get a goal, when everybody says they're struggling, and Manchester United's defence has looked so solid all season, Liverpool come to Old Trafford and they go ahead the first 25 minutes, and you can bet that the Old Trafford faithful will be doing their best to help their side.
Manchester United, whose main fault and inability to score goals, now have to get 2 to win it, at the very least. Just under 20 minutes to go to half-time. A long road ahead for Liverpool to sustain this. But they've been improving their results, they've been improving their performances. Graham Souness has been keeping pretty silent about it, but I know privately he's been very pleased with the progress. Took that cleverly. It was Burrows who's saying he got to the ball. McClare's ended up down on his knees. It was Keith Hackett's view of it that was the most relevant. It was a different view to ours, Andy.
Yeah, I thought David Burrows made again an excellent tackle. And Keith Hackett, though, he's the man in charge.
Pallister's come forward at the free kick. Bruce is there, of course, as well. McManaman. And in this formation, Liverpool has certainly got an outlet on both flanks. Players are quite comfortable having the ball at their feet. McManaman might have done better to try and keep it then. His ball infield was a bit wayward. Not long by Nicol. Hughes has to do so much of his work game after game as the only central player for Manchester United. It's been that way for some time now. There is McManaman's on the ball, more on that in a moment. Mulby. Rush making his movement across the edge of the penalty area, trying to drag defenders away from players like Rosenthal. That's out by Ince via a deflection, and it's United's throw. I was going to say that Alec Ferguson's very keen to get Lee Sharp back from his illness. He had another junior game yesterday, and that might free Giggs to play in a more central role in later matches this season. Leclerc offside, Kanchelskis. Even so, Grobbelaar was so quick. Well, he'd come a long, long way then.
It was a late flag from the lines, but I do think it was the right one, the right decision. It's always very difficult with players with the pace of Andrei Kanchelskis run diagonally across the pitch, but I think the linesman quite right. But look at Bruce Grobbelaar there, right on his toes. He's as keen as anyone. Kept his first clean sheet of the season, didn't he, against Sheffield Wednesday in their last Premier League game, and he'll be anxious to put a couple of those together.
That was not just his, that was Liverpool's first clean sheet of the season. Remember, David James played in 11 games without the satisfaction of a shutout. Played very well in a good majority of those as well. Marsh. But how will Liverpool go from here? Just showing one or two signs of defending perhaps a little deeper than Graham Souness would like, having got their noses in front. Giggs, there's the space to get past Marsh. There is. It's wonderful work from Giggs. McClare tried to let it run, and it was a hammering try from Ince. The point I made at Wembley, he doesn't get many goals, but when he does, they're usually ones that live long in the memory.
Again, Giggs though, isn't it? He's the one that's managed to open up and create the space. And as it just drops down to Ince, nothing in his mind but hitting this. Tight angle. Bruce deals with it easily enough.
Mulby. Oh, that wasn't aimed for Hutchison. Couldn't get out of the way. McClare. And on Nicol, but only as far as Bruce. Both sides at the moment putting the ball away rather more than they were earlier in the match. Marsh to Redknapp. It's another misplaced pass. It's as if there's been an injection of tension into the players produced by the goal. Manchester United because they've got to try and get it back. Liverpool because they've got to defend it. Kanchelskis, there's no flag this time, but there is Grobbelaar. Here it comes. Not far short of us up here.
What Liverpool are doing quite well at the moment is when they lose the ball, they're pulling everyone back behind it if they can, apart from Ian Rush, and saying to Manchester United, you're the ones that are lacking goals. Try and beat us if you can.
Well, you wouldn't blame players if they frown with the importance of this match, but Bruce can manage to smile whenever he plays. Now, what did that go out of, Rosenthal? Is it handball? I think it might well be.
Yeah, you just see Ronnie Rosenthal dive in there.
And Ian Rush was delaying the taking of the free kick by encroachment. He was concerned perhaps about Ronnie Rosenthal. I think probably more concerned about the quality of the ball that Manchester United might manufacture here. From Giggs, and it's sliced away by Marsh. Giggs gives the signal. In goes Bruce, so often a weapon at the corners. That came off Rush. Kovlar knows he's got to kick it.
Must be terrible from that situation for goalkeepers when they don't quite see what's happening. I mean, luckily Bruce is alive as always.
Luckily the rules seem to be invented for a player of his temperament. McManaman. Who's going to chase this one? It's Kanchelskis. Liverpool were wrong-footed. McClare's by the far post. It doesn't get anywhere near there. It goes behind off Hutchison. It's a corner.
It's a poor ball really from Andrew Kanchelskis. All the work, he's done all the work in getting there, and he just felt he had to stand it up.
Life has become more difficult again for Liverpool. A goal to the good, though. Ferguson. Play on, says Keith Hackett. And again. He's a very, very experienced referee who won't be fazed by the drama that this particular day can bring.
Taking a chance at times, Liverpool, they really are, and when they're pushing up, with no real pressure on the ball, they're just playing, coming up, trying to play offside, and really nearly paid for it.
Well, Manchester United have gone out of Europe already because of an inability to score goals. Now they've stuck Ryan Giggs through the middle. Oh, and it very nearly paid off straight away.
Well, Torben Picnic just completely went to sleep there. There's absolutely no danger, and he just treated the presence of Ryan Giggs as if he wasn't there. Superb touch from Giggs, but just doesn't get up high enough.
Ryan Giggs, who didn't go to Cyprus with Wales, a touch of controversy about that. Terry Europe, the Wales manager, keeping his own counsel on the injury and the fact that Giggs is playing today. Liverpool often weakened by the demands of international call-ups, but less so at the moment. Rush. Mulby comes onto it, but when they talk about Ian Rush and his great goal-scoring record, it should not be forgotten that he does plenty outside the penalty area as well.
He's one of the toughest workers in the game and hardest workers in the game.
But for the moment, he's had to give the goal-scoring mantle away to Don Hutchison.
I feel a little bit for Peter Schmeichel there, because he did have the shot covered, and his movement to the right initially, and he just couldn't get back across goal. But 2 goals and 2 league games for Don Hutchison, both rather unorthodox, if you remember his winner against Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, in a number of countries around the world, Italy in particular, that would go down as an own goal against Steve Bruce, but not here. And who are we to spoil this splendid run that Hutchison's enjoying at the moment? Far better than he can ever have hoped for at the start of the season, when he hadn't then ever started a league game. Now he can think about starting the next one after this, which is about as far as you get when you play at this level, 1 game at a time. Bruce, who actually marked Ian Rush on Rush's league debut back in the late 70s when it was Gillingham against Chester. They've seen plenty of each other since. Danger of overdoing it on the ball, but he's kept it with Liverpool with the help of Torben Picnic. Bruce certainly got a call from Schmeichel, and it's easier to hear at that end of the ground. Ray Wilkins I spoke to after Queen's Park Rangers came here and got a draw recently, and he believed it's a little easier to play Manchester United at the moment without that swell of noise from the Stretford end, that it's almost worth a goal to them when the going got tough. It's tough at the moment. They're behind to Liverpool. Well, Rosenthal will keep doing that. And Michael will need to be on his mettle. He's certainly got a player to mark in this particular game.
What he might look to do at times, Ronnie Rosenthal, is he knows that Paul Parker's going to get some help from one of his midfield players, and you don't always have to take people on, Mark. You can create space by attracting players and just looking for people like David Burrows, who's backing them up. But Liverpool really look quite comfortable to me at the moment at the back. Defending in numbers, the back four looks a bit quite well sorted out, apart from the occasional little lap when they push up, looking to play offside needlessly. And Manchester United have really got it all to do.
Rush's flick, it's Hutchison again. And it looped up for a corner, and just for an instant it looked as though it was going to be a similar second to Liverpool.
But I just wonder if he'd have known, could he have just laid it back into Ian Rush's path. Rush plays the pass and then disappears, and then comes in Hutchison. But look at Rush just on the left of the picture. One deflection for him, one against him.
Coming from midfield, Manchester United aren't keeping track of Don Hutchison. Molby, look at Hutchison, free again. He's a similar build to Rush, really, maybe a little bit taller rather, and he's certainly got that thoroughbred movement about him for a tall man. Off the head of Hughes, there's Marsh. You start wondering here whether Manchester United fans are in the ground and watching are bemoaning the absence of Brian Robson, not just for his play but for his leadership. Of course, fleetingly back in the side for Alex Ferguson, but not quite fit enough today.
I think they will, but I think United have proved already that there is going to be life after Brian Robson.
Rosenthal. The battle resumed with Parker, and a comprehensive winner on that occasion. Picnic extending himself. Aiming for Burrows, but not finding him. Throw to Manchester United. Just under 5 minutes to go to half-time. Hughes. Quite happy to tussle with three of them. The odds were against him. Miscontrolled by Rosenthal. Bruce bungling it forward.
And there looks a steal about this Liverpool team today. They really look determined that they're not going to give anything away needlessly. I think Ali Ferguson will be anxious to get his side in at half-time, Martin, and am I right? A little go at them, just sort out one or two things and just G's team up a little bit.
Oh, Ferguson is offside, not McClare. Ferguson was further forward when the ball was played.
It's unlucky there, Brian McClare, wasn't he? You're right. Darren Ferguson caught just wandering upfield there. Brian McClare had made the perfect run.
It's early to talk about substitutions, but on the bench for Manchester United, Michael Phelan and Clayton Blackmore, defenders or midfield men. This shows again that there aren't too many options around for Alex Ferguson unless he delves into his pack of very promising youngsters who are untried at this level. He might start thinking more about that. Of course, the transfer market is open to him, but where do you find the forward players? Alan Shearer, a little bit of a flare-up here. Hasn't been too much of that. I've seen Manchester United-Liverpool games with much more animosity on the pitch than we've seen today.
I think that may be in the years of all the experienced campaigners, the Maccaris and the Neils that have got downstairs. A lot of youngsters in show today, isn't there?
And another one I've seen today, Norman Whiteside is here. He probably thinks this lot are a load of softies. In a good position if he could have got to the ball. Just on the Alan Shearer episode, I know a lot of talk about why Manchester United didn't continue the bidding, so to speak. Well, I think the feeling at Old Trafford has been that Jack Walker was going to go for broke on it, really, and that there was a lot more money available, and it was an auction. If it had come down to that, that United would have lost, so better to bow out gracefully. Hutchison. Well played by Molby. Rosenthal. Not short of confidence in his task, although he's had not much joy over the last 15 minutes or so down the left. He's gone on through the middle at the moment. Burrow is holding on this near touchline. Hutchison is perhaps thinking about another shot. Took his eye off the ball for a fraction. Kanchelskis. Liverpool's target now, over the next couple of minutes, just to see it safely through to half-time if they can. It might be a scare for them here, though. Kanchelskis. And still... Here's Ferguson. Kanchelskis again. In from Parker. Off the knee of Nicol, headed back by Ince. Leclerc beating Steve Nicol in the air, but not quite enough movement around him for Manchester United. Hughes for Parker. That was a fine ball. Ferguson was the most committed at the cross, but it's brought away by McManaman. Giggs having to track back. Liverpool again well represented in the centre of midfield. Molby. Ball for Rosenthal. United are opened up. The ball's past Schmeichel, but not past Pallister. Rosenthal again. Back to him from Hutchison. Ronnie Rosenthal. Redknapp for the cutback. Rush! A moment of history for Ian Rush. This genuinely great goal scorer now leads the Liverpool list. The magic number 287. And oddly, his first in 10 attempts at Old Trafford. Now to be remembered as the ground where he overtook Roger Hunt.
And what a big thank you to Ronnie Rosenthal. Missed a great chance seconds before, but gets in the box and really commits Steve Bruce. But he's aware enough there to tuck it back, and that's Rushy. Well done, son. Congratulations.
Well, I said to him yesterday, let me just check you've never scored at Old Trafford. No, he said, not in the 800 years I've been playing. Well, here's McClare. And there's a mood of concern amongst the Manchester United fans at the moment.
Well, you can see what he tried to do, Brian McClary. He's looked up, he's spotted Bruce Grobbelaar off the line, and he's just tried to nick it over him.
Well, it's taken him 502 games at the most difficult job in football. Ian Rush has been truly remarkable.
And that just shows you ain't happy just to sit back, isn't it, after the record? Tracking back, tackling people. That's Ian Rush all over.
Well, I have to say that in my dotage, when I look back with the old pipe and slippers in years to come, I'll be proud to say that I saw Rushy play. And honoured to be here on the day that he set the new landmark. But Liverpool, with all their practicality and their common sense, will want that out of the minds. It's a goal for them of significance because it's given them a 2-goal advantage over Manchester United at Old Trafford. The first had a touch of fortune about it. Hutchison's shot taking a savage deflection off Steve Bruce. But this is the Liverpool of Graham Souness that he's been keeping pretty quiet about. But the confidence is back. And Manchester United have a big problem. Plenty of analysis during the break. At half-time at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 0, Liverpool 2.
Super Sunday, 071 782 3888 is the talkback phone number. If you want to call us, let's go. Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Liverpool to restart. Manchester United, 9 Premier League games unbeaten before today. Just those 2 defeats in their opening 2 matches of the campaign, but in serious trouble against their great rivals here.
Well, I did say that I thought Fergie wouldn't be sorting them out too much at half-time when it was 1-0, Martin, but just tidy things up. But I do think he would have really tore into his players at half-time after losing that goal right on the 45-minute mark.
Mulby. Maybe time to point out to you that Manchester United haven't scored 3 goals in a game so far this season. They've got 45 minutes to do it now if they're going to get 3 points. Ferguson. That's a fine ball for Giggs. Now Manchester United need this one to go in. Grobbelaar came up with a save of some significance for Liverpool.
Just a little glimpse, wasn't it, of Ryan Giggs' pace and power there.
Ball coming through the middle. He's obviously got...
Well, they've changed it, Martin, actually, slightly. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But this is the one, it's just slid through to him. And once he's clear, no one's going to catch him. But Bruce does everything right. He stands up, stands big, makes it difficult for the youngster. But they've toyed with the formation at half-time. Alex Ferguson has moved Andre Canchelsis to the left wing. He's put Ryan Giggs up front with Mark Hughes, and Brian McClair is now operating in the right side of midfield.
Owen still at left back.
What a boost that would have been, Mark. Just thinking in the first minute of the second half for United if Ryan Giggs could have scored there.
Yes, and you wonder what it might have done to Liverpool's morale. The very thing that they'd have been talking about not happening at the start of the second half, so nearly materialised in front of their eyes. Ferguson. Giggs trying to get in behind Nicol, who saw where Giggs was. On the left then, linking up with Irwin. The ball will roll out, and some news from the Liverpool dressing room from David Livingston.
Yes, it's all kind of predictable at half-time. Some grim, determined-looking faces coming out of the Man United dressing room, but Liverpool laughing, joking. Jamie Redknapp.
Here's Parker. Well, the smiles would have been wiped off those Liverpool faces if Giggs had scored so early in the second half. Here's Hutchison. Rosenthal, who wasn't getting too much joy against Paul Parker, but stuck at it. And it was Rosenthal's run, which we hardly pay tribute to, really. So fulsome has been the praise for Ian Rush's record. More across the pitch than forward, really, from Burrows, which suited United until the header was collected by Marsh. To when Ian Rush came to Liverpool from Chester. He didn't score in his first 9 games. They were wondering whether he would make the grade. Liverpool have so often been prepared to give young players time. They haven't been able to do that since Graham Souness has been in charge because of a catalogue of injuries. Still John Barnes out, Paul Stewart. Very header there by Parker, which leads to a Rosenthal cross now. Ronnie Whelan still amongst the injured for Liverpool. Michael Thomas is a substitute today. having not played for a couple of months, damaged ankle against his old club Arsenal back in August. Ince. Kanchelskis is offside. The linesman on the far side.
Not a lot in it though, Martin. Not a lot in it. Mike Marsh hasn't quite come to terms with playing the offside rule. Steve Nichollen and Tom and Picnic are looking to push up and play. And just occasionally, Mike Marsh, as you see there, he's a good 5-6 yards behind the other 3 defenders. He's got to be careful and aware of that.
No, playing in defence hasn't been his major trade, as we said in the first half. Played a lot of his senior football in midfield. Getting it away from Kanchelskis, back to Grobbelaar. Bruce coping with the bounce. Kanchelskis, an early ball. Went well for Liverpool by Picnic. Tenacious play by Ince. But there's another offside. Again, Kanchelskis is the culprit. Uriah Rennie, the linesman on the far side, if memory serves me right, was the linesman here for the game against Leeds when Leeds felt that Mark Hughes was in an offside position and a crucial goal was scored against the champions. Well, it's definitely a twin-pronged attack through the centre for Alec Ferguson in the second half. That was driven by Picnic onto the head of Leclerc. Again, any danger for Liverpool was wiped out immediately by the flag going up.
Yeah, I think quite right, there's no doubt. You can see as it comes back, and there he is, just offside there, right there, just to the left of your picture, Ryan Giggs.
Rosenthal. Liverpool have used the full width of the pitch and have been very organised and coordinated in this 5-man midfield. Well, Giggs came from deep, and he might beat Grobbelaar to this. No. Tackle that any defender would be proud of from the Liverpool goalkeeper.
That's brilliant, isn't it? There was another situation, Mark, when I felt that Brian McClare was offside, and the linesman didn't put his flag up but allowed play to go on. He looks on song, Bruce, doesn't he, today? Very bright, very alert.
He wants to keep his place, and you can't blame him for that. A lot of talk that after the testimonial, if he wasn't in the team, that Liverpool would let him go. He's there again, just. And a dangerous play given against McClare. Well, the challenger to the crown is David James. Had a taste of it, but he's on the bench now.
He might not be happy not being in the side, man, but if he's got any sense, he's a young kid, he'll be watching, he'll be taking it in, he'll be learning.
And he said all along that ever since he's been in the game, he's been an admirer of Grobbelaar. McManaman, using that spindly frame of his. It's as slim as the corner flag that he pushed Irwin into. Certainly a free kick. Nicol. Liverpool don't have too many players in the England squad. They don't have too many Englishmen when you look around the team. British Michael showing that he, like Grobbelaar, can improvise when necessary.
Strange one for him as well, Dennis Irwin choosing to loft one that high back to him. All he has to do is just knock it out for a throw-in.
Well, it would have been very unusual last season, but that incident more and more commonplace now. Michael having to use his feet. There's no angles being made for him. Ian Rush was arriving at speed. And I think the sun might be making it difficult. Looking from Schmeichel's end of the ground. It rained very, very hard in Manchester last night. It's a bright afternoon, particularly for Liverpool. Rush. Can Hutchison get to it? He can only knock it wide to Rosenthal, who is sent tumbling by Parker. Keith Hackett has given the free kick.
You see United's problem though, Martin. They want to come back, they want to push men forward and get back into the game, which they need to do. But Liverpool do seem to have the type of players, two pacey wide men and Ian Rush up front, and people prepare to run from midfield. They really can't catch them on the break if they're not careful.
Mulvey with the free kick. Keith Hackett was concerned that Mulvey and Burrows were indulging in a bit of clever time wasting in an attacking situation by delaying the taking of the free kick, and the referee not allowing that to happen. Owen heads it on. And Picnic, I think we can call that from the Jason Cundy school of getting the ball forward. That amazing goal from the Tottenham defender at Ipswich. And it went out on the full from inside his own half. That would have been something that the Danes would have joked about if Schmeichel had been left totally stranded and the ball had gone in.
They're just not able to build up any sort of sustained pressure at the moment. Manchester United, they need to put Liverpool under pressure at the back, try and keep them under pressure just for a certain spell in the game, and with any hope of breaking through it. Liverpool look very comfortable at the moment to me.
It has brought into sharp focus again this concern about the lack of firepower in the United ranks. Often one goal's been enough for them to win games, and they've really hammered the opposition. When they do go behind, particularly two behind as they are now, the hill looks that much steeper for them to climb. Mulvey, Picnic, Liverpool lording it here. And Mulvey's pass inside Irwin, and it's reached McManaman in the very extremities of the pitch, and it's produced a corner. That was marvellous vision from Mulvey.
And he needed it, Mark. I looked up and saw Jan Mulvey on the ball, and 9 Liverpool players were yards ahead of him.
Well, they trust him.
Well, they have to, don't they?
Mike Marsh will take the corner. Mulvey's waiting on the edge, but goes nearer to Rosenthal. That was cleverly done. He knew Parker was moving up behind him. Eyes really in the back of his head for Rosenthal then. And it's produced another free kick. Parker thought he could get to the ball. Rosenthal was a bit too crafty that time. This time it's Parker who comes out on top. Until it comes to the passing, which hasn't in truth been Paul Parker's strongest suit. He is, as they say in the game, a natural defender, which is a bit euphemistic. Hughes. Good recovery by Burrows. Giggs now on the right, McClare in the middle. They've swapped places for the time being. United's throw. Liverpool with 2 goals on their side and time on their side. McManaman. Seemed to have taken charge in that, and then maybe McManaman did push him. Certainly went down rather easily. Hughes. Redknapp. alongside Hutchison, showing that he's still got license to get ahead of the ball from midfield. Pallister moving into that area himself for Manchester United. Liverpool trying to compress the space, and Grobbelaar covering, but he's way out of his base at the moment. Hughes for Kanchelskis. An air of confusion about Liverpool at the moment as they try to regroup. Kanchelskis takes them on. Giggs. It bounced off Picnic. Kanchelskis again. Here's Redknapp. No way out, a long way forward. And that's really, as you can see, the ball given away because of that. Rush had come deep. And there was no one wide on this near side. Owen for Ferguson. Well, the offside is given. Paul Ince trying to creep forward then and time the run.
But that's what they need to do. They've got to have some possession. They've got to be patient. It's very, very close. I actually think Mike Marsh and that near side is actually playing him onside as well. But that's what United have to do to get back in the game. They have to keep possession of the ball. They have to keep some pressure on Liverpool, and just to see if they'll crack.
What a lift it would be to Liverpool, not just in terms of the league table, but to their status, which has suffered. Even in the great times, they were never guaranteed to win here. Manaman's attempted cross is deflected for a corner. Again, McManaman at his own pace goes across. Keith Hackett just pointing to the watch. He's far too long in the tooth as a referee to be fooled by any delaying tactics by Liverpool. Michael's come for this one under no challenge. Immediately Giggs moved to make an angle. Also Kanchelskis, who's got the ball. Liverpool tracking back. Bruce coming forward, helter-skelter pace, too quick. Ince. Rosenthal would be entitled to claim that he got the ball then.
I think they were fortunate, Manchester United. They got so many men forward and in a line along the 18-yard box that Paul Ince really had nowhere to go.
Ferguson to take the free kick. No wasting of time for United. That's Pallister! And he was aiming for the far corner then, and for an instant it looked as though it was going to loop towards it beyond Grobbelaar.
Looks in that kind of form, Bruce, doesn't he? As if everything's going to go his way today.
Quentin Blackmore and Michael Phelan, let me remind you, the Manchester United substitutes. Bruce Grobbelaar, very much the Liverpool goalkeeper. In his 12th season now.
Just looking at him at the moment, man, he's actually screaming to David Burrows. He's really concerned. Even when his team's got the ball and it's 90 yards from his goal, he's ordering at his defenders to be alive and be alert.
All part of the job. Ince telegraphed that one. Here's Picnic, who had a difficult start in his first game against Aston Villa. But I must say, he certainly looks the part that everyone has done for Liverpool today. When you've been letting in goals as Liverpool have done, you can understand that Grobbelaar's not relaxed at the back, and that the discipline has got to be maintained. It would help, of course, if they could get a third goal from their point of view, and Rosenthal thought for a moment he might be in on it until the flag went up.
You would tend to think, wouldn't you, that 2-0 up, Liverpool of old was just shore it all up now. Shut up shop and say, that's it. That'll be the scoreline at the end of the game. But you're never so sure even now, are you?
Picnic. Ince at speed. Had an easy ride that time. was fouled by Ferguson. Keith Hackett again applying the advantage. Lovely layoff from Rush. Not quite so good the second time. Liverpool still working as a group. Hunting in packs, as Phil Neal said at half-time. And again trying to compress the play by moving up defensively towards almost the edge of the centre circle. Pallister believes he can get the ball over the top, and it might be a belief that's well-founded. Grobbelaar and Giggs. And the goalkeeper has lost out, but there was help on hand. Giggs. And it's ended up in the first potentially unsavoury episode of the match between Giggs and Burrows. It went away as soon as it started.
Top master of the linesman there as well, Martin. He was on the spot right away. Defused it very quickly. Now we can get on with the game.
That's exactly what's happened. Grobbelaar is back in his goal. Giggs very nearly outwitted him on the far side. It was a clever ball by Pallister as Liverpool had pushed up.
Just what I said, though, you do get the feeling that everything is going Bruce's way.
There's going to be a change for Manchester United, and
we're having a look at this replay here as Bruce comes up. Just for a minute, he's thinking, oh no, what am I doing out here? But suddenly David Burrows gets back in there. Great tackle that one was. Super tackle.
well, you heard what the crowd thought, not of the arrival of Clayton Blackmore. They appreciate his all-round qualities, but of the departure of Andrei Kanchelskis. Kanchelskis has only played the full 90 minutes 3 times in the league this season. Blackmore has, in an emergency, operated as a striker for Alec Ferguson in the past.
That's another close one though there, Martin. Clayton Blackmore involved for the first time. That diagonal run again that causes all the problems, and he'd given offside, but I really wasn't so sure he was.
Offside again here.
I mean, it's a change I'm not surprised at.
David Livingston has been waiting for a while to get a word in from the touchline. David, I apologise for that. It's your floor now.
Yes, Martin, down here after that United substitution on the Liverpool front, Michael Thomas has been warming up fairly extensively, and given the pressure the Liverpool dugout have been putting on their midfield to work harder, it may be that that's an option that they'll be introducing later.
Thank you, David. United with Blackmore and Hughes. And still Hughes with Steve Nicol while sitting on the ground effecting the final challenge, or is it the final one? Marsh is there. McManaman. Oh, that was very nearly the moment where you thought Hughes, with such a show of strength to go with his skill, was going to bring his team back in the game.
It's such good defending from Steve Nicol. He kept his eyes firmly fixed on the ball. But the game's up a notch or two now, isn't it?
Good play from Rush to get the ball to McManaman. Keith Hackett says, get up and get on with it. Darren Ferguson had a quick look to make sure that he wasn't going to be penalised. McManaman, I don't think in his heart of hearts expected a penalty.
It was a little bit rash, the tackle from Darren Ferguson, you see there. Well, there certainly was some contact. I'm not surprised to see the Liverpool players looking for a penalty there.
Rush, Hutchison. Rosenthal this time had come infield a little. Marsh's header, returned by Pallister and Picnic.
Look at Ian Rush, though. I mean, that's what he's all about. It's what he's been all about. Never giving centre-halves a minute's rest when they're on the ball, but putting them under pressure all the time.
Yes, and he still had the energy to get 287 goals for Liverpool. I'm sure Roger Hunt will be the first to pay public tribute to him. Giggs, interception by Nicol. 20 minutes left, and still the 2-goal divide in favour of Liverpool. McClair. It's a corner. Bruce and Pallister already on the move.
Well, you sense they need something soon, don't you? Crowd are just up to volume a little notch. They sense their team need a little bit of support, and they're trying to lift them.
That's Hughes. Can he get to it a second time? Not quite. And Jan Molby, I think it was, who towed it behind.
Brian McClair's the one who gets in the way of Hughes' initial header. Climbs brilliantly for this, gets the power there. But it's Brian McClair who stops it. Bruce is getting help from the quarters he wouldn't have expected.
Owen to take this corner. Here's Giggs, there's help from Blackmore behind him. Liverpool haven't really got a chance to push out. Ferguson got a flick. Bruce has the shot. McManaman behind the ball. Out come Liverpool. Nicol. When I should think 99 goalkeepers out of 100 would have kicked it hard up towards the halfway line, out of play even. Grobbelaar just rolled it to keep possession. There's going to be a change now for Liverpool. Graham Souness is going to bring on Michael Thomas for Jamie Redknapp.
And the substitution for Liverpool is number 12, Michael Thomas.
Thomas back in the Premier League after an absence of 2 months. Damaged his ankle joint. Perhaps trying too hard to impress against Arsenal back at Anfield in August. But he played 70 minutes yesterday, so he's going to make it up to around 90 minutes for the weekend. Thomas with a header. Pallister again, finding the range with his passing, or very nearly so, recognising Liverpool's desire to press into midfield.
He's brought a new meaning to the word goalkeeping today, Bruce Grobbelaar, for me. He's been like a sweeping goalkeeper. He's not only played in goal, but he's played along the back, he's swept up like what you'd expect a sweeper to do. He's given a fine example of it.
Mulvey. He's looked very sprightly. He's missed a couple of games with injury. Rush. Thomas. A little triangle going here. Who almost mesmerised Manchester United in midfield. Thomas again. Rosenthal.
So frustrating. It's brilliant when you're winning the game and you can do this, but it's very frustrating if you're Manchester United trying to get the ball back.
Irwin. Well, it's certainly the direct route that they're looking towards now. Great control by Giggs. And Mike Marsh has hurt himself in intervening there. To try and appease the crowd again, the referee looked at his watch ostentatiously. The reaction from the United fans suggesting that they thought Marsh was swinging the lead here, but I don't think that's the case.
I think he just caught either his knee there, Ryan Giggs' knee and his back there, and it's just a little bit painful. I'm sure he'll be all right. It's one of those, you've got to get up, you've got to get it moving. If you don't, they do stiffen up very, very quickly.
Well, this is a match in the mega category. We've got another one for you tomorrow, of course, on Sky Sports. Aston Villa against Blackburn. Not to be missed. Well, this drop for United. Giggs, it's Blackmore. Takes it first time, as he probably had to do, with Nicol catching him up.
Well, they wouldn't have been happy with David Burrows if they conceded a goal there. He just did what Mike Marsh did earlier, and was about 10 yards deeper than anyone on the opposite side of the park, and you really can't do that. You're looking to play offside.
Rush lingering on the ground this time. McManaman. Rescued well of Irwin, getting to the ball and keeping it. Picnic's got her way out for Burrows. Rosenthal's further forward and onside, is he? No. The linesman was a bit late perhaps in seeing that. As soon as the ball was played, it took its time travelling to Rosenthal. 15 minutes to go. And still, if Manchester United were to score, you wonder perhaps how this Liverpool team would cope, given the difficulties they've had to deal with earlier in the season. But they're still sitting pretty. 2 goals in front. The second of them, the record breaker from Rush. Thomas trying to have another one. Ferguson. For Hughes. And it looked as though David Burrows had gone missing. Steve Nicol was there. Grobbelaar just rolled it into midfield, giving Manchester United, you would think, a chance of getting the ball, but they didn't. And again, beautifully constructed by Liverpool. They managed to finish this off. Well, they're not going to. So we would wear the videotape out, showing it over and over again. The outfield players have such confidence in Grobbelaar.
It's quiet though, isn't it, Martin? You sense around here that even the supporters now are beginning to think, you know, is it going to happen? Are Liverpool going to win this game? That's certainly the impression I get, that Liverpool look very, very sound, and I'm not too sure whether United have got the ideas to open them up. They need something special from a Ryan Giggs, flash of magic from somewhere, or someone to make a real error in this Liverpool side for them to get back in the game.
Yes, I was going to say a touch of luck, which they haven't had too much of, in truth, particularly in the way the first goal was conceded, which meant so much to Liverpool. Giggs deciding to whip it in early, spotted by Picnic. Bruce for Parker, or is it? Yes, just. Now, who can attack the ball here? It's Grobbelaar. Well, I must say, grounds have to be redeveloped, and anything that benefits the spectators has got to be encouraged, but it's not helping Manchester United not having that partisan population of the Stretford end. The end that they're attacking. Hughes, the end that they're scoring, are they? They are! 2-1!
Well, I said it might take a piece of magic, and what a magical finish it was from Mark Hughes. Superb vision. Spots Grobbelaar off his line and just lifts it off. Watch this as it's played in. He has a quick look. There it is. Sees Bruce off his line and thinks, have some of that. Superb finishing.
Well, you talked about the touch of inspiration, and here it is. Hughes recognising instinctively that Grobbelaar would be off his line and that a lob would be the way to defeat him. And now, can they go on to level it in what's sure to be a frantic last session here? 11 minutes to go. Liverpool might just have been thinking, well, we're going to see it off without too many alarms. The major scare at the start of the second half when Giggs got through, they survived that. Hughes has announced himself, but in one way he's annoying now the referee, having worried Liverpool and their supporters with a splendid goal.
Well, I think the Old Trafford faithful will turn the volume up a notch or two now, won't they? 10 minutes, they'll be urging their team on now.
Giggs. Pallister. Setting off through the centre. Hughes was there as well, and Grobbelaar will want to kick the ball out here because Mulvey is injured. Look at this. He certainly hasn't kicked it out, he's kicked it. Hutchison is going to do it. Grobbelaar taking his team's life into his own feet then. Injury worries for Graham Souness again at a critical stage in the afternoon, and they're talking about a stretcher here.
Looks just constant, doesn't he? You can't believe he's not, can he? The amount of injuries that he's getting, and another one at a crucial time in this game. I really can't help you. I'm not so sure what happened to Jan at all there. But that's ominous, man. When they're tying their legs together like that, it's a horrible sign to see them keeping legs as still as that.
Liverpool with still one other substitute to see this game through if they can. That's Nick Tanner. Well,
it's round about here it happened, wasn't it, the incident as Ryan Giggs came in. Yeah, it's just above the right ankle. Stands on it for a bit and then just sits down. It's almost as if he's known what's happened.
David Livingston down on the touchline. David.
Martin, he was only a few yards away. As soon as the tackle came in, he stood almost motionless, looked immediately to the dugout, waved his hands, he said, "I am finished," looked at them for a minute, sat down. It was obvious he knew right away, and the seriousness was evident to the dugout, and Nicky Tanner was warmed up immediately.
Graham Souness, having looked so sadly down at Mulvey, went across, realist as he is, to talk to Ronnie Rosenthal. And I think you might have heard on our effects microphone them shouting across to get a message to Rosenthal to perhaps do a little more of his job down the left-hand side.
Well, look, they brought Nicky Tanner on, obviously the substitute they had left, and he'll just sitting in front of the back four. And being a natural defender, he'll be looking for him just to protect the slender lead that Liverpool now have.
Correct.
But they'll be looking to get the ball out to Ryan Giggs, because little Mickey Marsh is struggling with the injury he picked up a minute ago.
Rush trying to keep Manchester United occupied in this half of the pitch. He's well equipped to do that.
Well, we've got to finish on now, haven't we?
And injuries have been a factor for so many clubs this season, but at Liverpool it seemed to have been a long, long time that they've been suffering in that respect, and another major problem in that respect to Jan Mulvey. Here's Ince. Very well played by Marsh. Thomas, Rosenthal.
Well, for Liverpool, you just want to take this for a run. You just want to keep the ball. You can get it in the corners, you'd do that, won't you? Whatever you do, don't give it away cheaply. That's what Graham Souness will be urging his players. For Manchester United, it's all about getting it back as quickly as possible and putting Liverpool under pressure. Test some of the young kids' nerves. That's what they'll be trying to do.
And Jan Mulvey, on a day when he's being watched by Richard Muller-Nielsen, Denmark's coach, who's at the ground here with a view to perhaps coming back into a side that's been struggling to score a goal in the European Championship. It's a very sad end for Manchester United. Leaving sentiment aside, might have a marvellous end here. They might suddenly be able to grasp something that was looking beyond them. They're 2-1 down. And a foul by Blackmore.
That's what you call going for a right there, isn't it? In the back of Ronnie Rosenthal.
picnic. He's got to keep his nerve here, and my word.
Super goal, wasn't it?
That's not the first time this afternoon that the sophistication of his defending has been impressive.
Well, Steve Bruce is now playing up front as well. It looks like Fergie said, listen, we've got to get up there. Get up there, Steve. Use your height, use your weight. See if you can upset someone.
And he'll be a main man at this corner. Signs of strain on Liverpool faces.
Yeah, they're so close, but I would imagine there's quite a bit of injury time to go onto the clock as well.
Diggs with the corner. Grobbelaar off his line. Helped by Rush. Blackmore. Everyone regrouping in the centre. Burrows putting it away. Rosenthal right on top of Ryan Giggs. Picnic. Well, Manchester United sense the road to recovery that they were finding very difficult to locate, and Liverpool labouring now. Hughes, Marsh, first to the ball as it dropped.
It's all hands to the pump, isn't it, now for Liverpool? The forward line at the moment, Manchester United is reading Bruce, Pallister, McLean and Hughes. They really have thrown everyone forward.
Liverpool trying to keep their eyes on the ball and not think about the clock. Keep their eyes on the men that are massing wearing red in this penalty area. Ferguson. Nicol can't prevent the corner. Owen to take it. Can Pallister climb for this one? He does. Ferguson! It's another corner.
Great tackle from David Burrows. Well, absolutely incensed that he didn't get the last touch, and I think they might be right about that.
Darren Ferguson getting on his feet. It was he who, unwittingly, I'm sure, caught Jan Molby. Pallister, Burrows, and it's a free kick to Liverpool, and one or two arms being raised in there, and the heat of the moment.
No, it's getting tense out there, I can assure you.
Scowling Paul Ince. Ferguson, who's I'm sure been frowning for much of the match, certainly since his team has been behind, but there's still hope for Manchester United. Knocked on by Thomas. Pallister back in position. Marsh. Real test of Liverpool's grit now. They've played well. I don't think Manchester United, had the game continued its course, deep down would have been able to resent their win. But it's not a certain win for Liverpool yet. Circumstances, first of all, a bit of individual inspiration from Mark Hughes, and then the injury to the influential Molby got Liverpool rattled. Giggs. Quite what he was trying to do then. Well, it's 30 seconds plus stoppage time.
Yeah, no finesse now from Manchester United, is it? It's get it forward, get it up there. If anything drops through us, then it is our day after all.
Rush can turn. Well, he played it straight to Blackmore, hoping that Burrows was behind him. It's a United throw. Ian Rush simply trying to use up time. And his record-breaking goal won't mean quite so much if it doesn't turn out to be the winner. Parker. Leclerc going for this one. Giggs, Nicol hesitated. Oh, Marquez! A fantastic finish for Manchester United.
Well, would you believe it? What a great ball that was in from Ryan Giggs. And he's gotten a result at a game that for a long period of time they looked to be losing.
All the scoring responsibilities seem to be heaped on his shoulders. 2 in the last 10 minutes for Hughes.
Well, it's something you don't see enough of for me these days. Brian McClair makes it difficult for Mike Marsh, but it's delivered to the near post, and that's how you attack the ball in there. He's got every right to be delighted with that.
Liverpool have lost their way in the closing stages at Old Trafford, and there's still time possibly for them to lose the game. Now the linesman steps in again, out of your picture to calm things down. In fact, the final whistle has gone, and there is still work for Keith Hackett to do to get the players to the dressing room. David Burrows, like all the Liverpool players, bitterly disappointed. Mark Hughes has brought such joy to his teammates and to Manchester United, and in the nick of time with his second goal robs Ian Rush of true satisfaction on the day that he's broken Roger Hunt's record. And Liverpool led by 2-0. Rush with the second of those two. Don Hutchinson deflected effort the first. A draw is always a good bet when these two great rivals take on each other, and it's come up again, but rarely in such dramatic circumstances. I think Alec Ferguson felt that there might have been some injury time to be added on then, particularly for the cost of the match for Jan Molby. There are the other two Danes who have finished it on the pitch, and they seem happy enough with a share of it all. Jan Molby left the game on a stretcher, just part of the sensation of the closing minutes. What emotions here. And Andy Gray, is that marvellous for Manchester United, obviously, but how tough is it on Liverpool?
Oh, I think it's cruel for Liverpool. I think they put so much into the game, Martin. I think if you looked at both camps, the Manchester United camp will be a far happier one than the Liverpool one.
As I say, it is a match that provokes strong emotions. Some of these meetings have been acrimonious on the pitch. There was just a mere hint of that in the closing moments, but for the rest it's been such a splendid occasion, and it's finished here. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2.
Mark Hughes, you're sitting down, and no wonder. It was a day when the script was written for your rival Ian Rush, and you delivered. Was it something that you, even in these closing moments, could have dreamed of doing?
No, not really. To be fair, we didn't play particularly well today, but we kept at it, and we pushed Brucey up for the last 10 or so minutes, caused a few problems, and we got a reward at the end.
Can you say what the turning point was?
I don't know. Obviously, I think the first goal, we weren't playing particularly well at that time, and that came out of the blue, really. I think Klein had just come on, Klein Blackmore, so I thought Bruce would have just come off his line a little bit, and so I just knocked her over him.
The second one, again, it was really in the dying seconds, but it was another goal of the highest quality.
Yeah, well, those are the type of goals I'm supposed to not score, so it was nice to see a goal. Good early ball by Giggsy, and I just got in front of the lad. It was great to see a goal. I was quite pleased there.
Can you ever recall scoring 2 goals of such high quality in one game?
No, not really. I've got to be modest there, haven't I?
So that result, after being so far behind then, is it something that gives tremendous heart for to demonstrate the character of Manchester United?
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, as I said before, we didn't play particularly well, but we kept going, and that's a sign of a side that's good strength and it never feels that they're beaten.
Do you think it'll be a different reception from the manager in the dressing room than you got at half-time?
No, I shouldn't think so. It'll probably be the same.
Thanks very much. Congratulations. Thank you.